Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedule Fly and hanging out. Well, not hanging out, hanging out over the phone. Unfortunately, not in person, but talking to Brandon Sharp with Hawthorne and Wood in Chapel Hill. Brandon's been on here before. We got to hang in his badass restaurant last time. This time we're on the phone and catching up just about what's happening. So, Brandon, thank you very much for taking the time, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Will. Looking forward to it.
So, what we've been doing this for I don't know about a week now. I've been talking to a bunch of folks, kind of figuring out just what is on your mind right now, and what are y'all doing at Hawthorne and Wood? How have you changed the business for the short term, at least, to sort of try to bridge the gap between here and wherever there is, and what are you focusing on each day?
Yeah, so I sort of woke up on the morning of Monday the 16th thinking that just really feeling like it was time to pivot. And so we decided that morning to shut down normal operations. That was the end of a pay period. Everybody got, full paycheck, that they were expecting for the first half of March. So we started that day doing takeout only, 3-course menu, prefix. And it's, everybody gets the same first course and choice of 2 entrees, and then same dessert. It's $30 for one dinner and $50 for 2. And we're also selling our burger for $12. And so that, when we've done that every single day since then, and that's where we're at right now. I don't see us changing a ton, and that's really what the law will allow us to do right now.
Have you had to lay off a lot of staff, or?
So we didn't lay off anybody per se. I completely support them. I've told them all, please apply for unemployment as you see fit. I'm not officially laying off anybody. I am approving, via the North Carolina online portal, I'm approving all the unemployment that y'all asked for, and making sure that it is coded as due to the coronavirus crisis. So that's where we're at with unemployment. But honestly, the recession of 2007, 8, 9 is still very fresh in my mind. I realized today, some of my employees were in elementary school and middle school, and when that happened, and I was a hotel chef then, and I worked for a really strong general manager. He pulled it all the way back. I mean, employment-wise, we cut down to the bone in terms of what we were left with staffing, and then he was, his business came back. He gradually let it all back out and let the reins back out, and rehired everybody and kept the owners happy, and managed to keep the employees and management pretty happy as well. And so that's what we did in week one. The first night it was me and one other cook. That Monday night, the next night it was me and my sous chef, and he and I just we got slaughtered. It was embarrassing. I'm really happy none of the cooks were in the kitchen that night to see us, because we really struggled and we got overwhelmed, and the business was coming in much faster than we thought it would. And so that allowed us, that support from our regulars and from our community allowed us to start bringing the cooks back on. And so a lot of the cooks are back to somewhere between 35 and 40 hours this week, which I'm really happy for and really proud of, and hope that we continue to get the business to support that.
Man, that's great. Has it been pretty consistent?
It really has, yeah. Oddly, even though for most of us, every day now looks like the other, oddly, we're still getting a lot busier on Fridays and Saturdays than before, but I think people are just used to that rhythm.
Well, yeah, particularly now. I mean, I don't know, the kids are, they're in online school. It feels to me a little bit more like a week, normal week now. And, we were on spring break when this started, so it was kind of a double whammy with, nothing, all this craziness going on, and the kids have nothing to do.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been on that weekend rhythm too. But I wonder if it's interesting to see. We've got at least April now, and who knows? I wonder if it will actually start picking up more during that time, or at least stay steady. Just because, gosh, you can only it's just this daily routine of cooking and preparing 3 meals a day at home. It's like, it's exhausting. You need places that, can just do that for us. So I'm glad to hear that the community is supporting y'all. And of course, y'all are getting back a lot of the good karma that you put out there, y'all being you and your team and just the independent restaurants around the country that do so much for their communities and support their communities so much, and are the first to help when, asked for donations of time and money and food and, for natural disasters to local organizations and everything else. So I'm really glad to hear they're returning the favor. And I hope that, after this settles and people start going back out, I hope I'm right that I think, at least from what I'm hearing from a lot of our friends and family and everybody else, is that everybody's kind of reassessing, what types of business do I want to support coming out of this? And it's inevitably the local businesses and the small businesses, and the local restaurants.
Yeah, that's become clear, and that's really nice to see. Yeah.
Well, so are you? So you've tightened down the menu, which is great. I'm sure that at least keeps the operations a little bit simpler, and then you've figured out what volume you have going on. Do you? Are you still? What are you hearing from staff members that waiters and bartenders and folks that are, don't have anything to do right now?
A variety of things. One of them last night thanked me for keeping everybody on and distributing the service charges as they come in. He says, he said a lot of my buddies just their restaurants just he used an expletive, but basically just cut them loose. Yeah. I think that there's still a great deal of confusion, perhaps a little bit of apathy among some staff members about applying for unemployment and really taking advantage, I think, of what the government's trying to do for them. And that's just a murky area, and I feel for them, because when I try to go onto the state site to approve their unemployment and respond to the request for separation, the site crashes about every 90 seconds just because of the volume that's being applied to it right now. So the staff, I think they are looking to us for direction and for a clear and consistent message. So my GM Neil, my sous chef John, and I are just trying to be as transparent as ever, maybe more transparent than ever, about those things. I've just heard a couple of great examples of this over the week from recent history, and one was a fellow explaining how when Kennedy was assassinated, LBJ was suddenly the president, and LBJ was not a charismatic person, not a good speaker, none of the charisma and charm, I guess, of JFK. But when he was younger, he was a rancher, and his dad was a rancher, and he grew up, grappling with cattle all the time. And he said, if they get stuck in a ravine and won't find their way out, you have to drive them out with confidence and aggression. And so I'm really just trying to chart a path forward that's clear for everybody. They know where we're going, they know why, and really just trying to be consistent. I realize I keep saying the same words over and over, but I think that's what we're doing with the staff, so that they do get the message, and their trust and their hard work over the last year will continue to be paid off if we can get us through this rough patch that everybody's feeling, and have something to come back to at the end of it.
What do you think about this legislation that's been going through, or that went through?
So I was on a Zoom call, which I guess everybody in the world now knows what a Zoom call is after this past week.
Yes.
With other restaurateurs and the Chapel Hill Chamber of Commerce today, and the director Aaron Nelson has just made himself really well versed in this, and so it seems like there are multiple avenues for relief, and we're being urged to both apply for the EIDL, which is the Economic Impact Disaster Loan, basically, and so that is geared towards revenue replacement, whereas the Payroll Protection Program is really geared towards keeping your people working, keeping them on the job, and things like that. And so they're not mutually exclusive, to my understanding, and the EIDL, the disaster loan program, is on its third iteration of application. So now they've streamlined the application even further. So it's supposed to be very easy to do. I'm in the midst of doing that. And then Payroll Protection Act, it sounds like the banks will be able to start processing those applications maybe as soon as Friday, maybe next Tuesday.
Okay, good. So revenue replacement. I knew about the employment issue. So how do they calculate that?
So the economic impact disaster loan, that one I don't know how it's calculated, but I know they can get you $10,000. It does not have to be. I shouldn't say I know. What I've been told is they can get you, and within 72 hours, $10,000, like an immediate bridge sort of grant, while they calculate everything else. And but that one turns into a 30-year term loan at 3.75%. And I don't think much of that is forgivable, but the payroll protection program, they base that on 2.5 times your monthly payroll.
Okay.
But it can be used for rent, utilities, mortgage interest in addition to payroll. And that one is forgivable as long as you use it for those stated reasons.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, 30 years at 3 and some change is at least it's amortized over 30 years and not 5 or 7 or whatever. 10.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, so it's good to hear that you've got some good local leadership helping you all, because it's a lot to navigate. There's a lot of noise. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out how to pivot, and I mean, it's just.
Well, yeah, you're still trying to regulate menus and order from purveyors who've cut their, delivery schedules in half and cut their inventories, and so the vendors are struggling too, and everybody's really trying to figure out how to work together with one hand tied behind their backs.
Yeah. Well, okay, man. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes. I don't want to keep you long because I know you got a lot going on, but anything we can do for you?
No, I just think I just think what you're doing with the cross-pollination of ideas is really good. Everyone's been racking their brain about what they can do in terms of just the limited service they can offer and what they can sell and what they can't sell. I really wish somebody would turn around the North Carolina ABC board and allow us to go cocktails, because our revenue stream is quite limited at the moment, and we have a great bottle shop next door to us called Bottle Rev, and we just we could never compete with their prices for wine and beer, and obviously we're not allowed to sell hard alcohol. And I would just encourage people to do. I would never presume to tell any other business folks what to do, but hopefully your local government has some resources for you, because ours doesn't have a slush fund or grants or anything like that, but they were able to identify a little bit of money this morning that maybe we can put towards some sort of collective or some sort of co-op where restaurants can get together and sell some to-go food or some packaged meals from a centralized location and really consolidate operations. So
that's good.
There's some good ideas out there.
So the ABC board, have they been approached? Are some of y'all approaching them? Or?
Yeah, so the state representatives that we've talked to say that the thing that we're asking for is just so far down the list of what the hospitality industry as a whole is looking for and needs right now, and so they pretty much refuse to even bring it up in the next meeting. So that's a little frustrating. Maybe there's another avenue. I'm sure there's another avenue that I'm not aware of, but that's as far as we've done so far. Okay.
Now, have you talked to Scott Maitland about that?
No, but it's funny. He was on the call this morning, and he had a wealth of information. He really is tuned into this.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know Scott?
No, we've met, but I wouldn't say that I know him.
Do you want me to connect you guys?
Yeah, that'd be great. Sure.
I just had him on the other day. I know Scott really well, and he's I think very highly of him. He's doing a lot of the hand sanitizer now at the distillery, but I mean he's been battling with the ABC board for years here. With
his distillery. So much stuff. I listened to most of that episode.
Yeah. Oh, the recent one?
No, one of the first ones.
Okay. Yeah, he was on God, wasn't that long ago. We were just talking about I mean, it's amazing. It seems like it was like forever ago, but it was like a month and a half ago. I had him on, and we were talking about distilleries, and he was educating me a lot about how a lot of the alcohol that we buy, a lot of the spirits we buy, are not actually distilled by the quote distillery, and it was all that stuff.
And buy the raw alcohol.
Yeah, they just bottle it. But so I didn't really know that. I thought it was really eye opening. But then just a couple of days ago, he was on, and for one of these, and we talked about his distillery. We talked about Top of the Hill, and he started that Founders Club again. He's raised a bunch of money doing that. But I'm going to connect you guys after this, and because I'm sure he's got as much incentive as anybody to get the ABC board to move on that. And if you guys are, who knows, man, maybe squeaky wheel, y'all get them at some point to turn on that, because boy, I mean, if not this week, the next, or the one after that, it would sure help y'all a lot. Help a lot of.
Well, yeah, and I know, and if we're looking at 12 weeks of this or more, I mean,
yeah,
hopefully something will give in that time. I mean, ABC board can't be any busier than any of the rest of us in this type of situation.
No, for sure. Well, yeah, exactly. So, look, man, I'll let you go. I will connect y'all, and I thank you for this, and I just thank you for what you do, what you and your team do for your community, and what all of y'all do. I mean, independent restaurant chefs and owners are y'all are this crazy combination of entrepreneurial, street smart, hardworking, creative. You pivot quickly. You just, I mean, it's just amazing how y'all are able to just make adjustments and change. And, it's necessity plus just drive and all this other stuff, man. I'm so inspired every time I talk to one of y'all. Every single conversation I have is just really inspiring me. And I appreciate it, man. I know everybody listening needs to hear a lot of this right now, because everybody's in the same boat, and but their heads are down and they're working hard, and it's hard to know, remember sometimes that, there's a lot of other people going through it, and maybe there's good ideas that get shared. And so I hope we can help with that some way. But man, Brandon, I appreciate it a lot, my friend.
Thank you. Well, yeah, we're all learning a lot of new skills now, out of necessity, and everybody's going to become a banker and a loan expert, I think, by the end of this.
That's right,
at the very least.
Well, we'll all be stronger and wiser when it's all said and done. So not a fun process to get there, but I think it'll ultimately work out well for everybody. And I appreciate it a lot, man. We appreciate y'all. And if you ever need anything, you know where I'm at.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Will. Good talking to you.
All right. See you, Brandon.
Take care.
All right.